everyone has their selection of how they want to deal with things. That's what Parsons said. He said, some people drink, some people smoke. I like to tweet. I like to be active and know about ball. I like to know what everyone else is doing. That's just me. I don't drink, I don't smoke. What I care about is the effort you give on the football field, and that's something you can't question.
That is good.
What you got underneath?
Oh, that's just my Micah, man. I thought it was a good quote on the shirt, man.
Oh, let me see.
Some people drink, some people smoke. I tweet. You know?
Sounds like rap lyrics.
A lot of people do that nowadays.
Here's the only thing. Like, I don't think that Micah's being unfairly criticized. And the reason I don't think Micah's being unfairly criticized is because his teammates from within the locker room are the ones giving him the criticism. If it was just people on the outside who didn't know, who didn't deal with Micah on a daily basis, I'd be like, wait, that's unfair. But at the point in which the criticism sounds universal, it sounds like it's coming from different people, from different aspects of the locker room, and it's coming from veterans that have been around the game a long time, that's at the point in which you got to ask yourself, wait, Micah, maybe you could be doing something better. Malik Hooker, taking you all inside the facility, the defense is all together in team meetings, then the defense is all together in defensive meetings. Yep. But once you break from the defensive meeting, the safeties go with the safeties, linebackers go with the linebackers, defensive linemen go with the defensive linemen. So what this suggests to me is a defensive lineman, DeMarcus Lawrence, he said, Micah, your social media usage has prevented us from going further. That's one position. Mm-hmm. A safety, Malik Hooker, he said, my advice is, hey, maybe chill off the podcast because people are going to question our defensiveness if you're on a podcast and we're not playing well. That's another position. So at the point in which you got a 6-year vet and an 11-year vet, essentially suggesting the same thing, I can't say that it's unfair because they're in the locker room. They playing with the dude. They seeing everything. They're seeing what's good and what's bad. And it's not the same exact person saying the same thing. That's why.
So you think it's fair because the teammates are doing it?
Of course. If it was just analysts, if it was just opinionists, completely unfair. We're not behind the closed doors. We don't know what's real.
I don't know how this on defense, but on offense, we look at, who's making plays? We call that a plus. And when I check it, the guys that's doing the most talking over there, they don't have nowhere near the pluses that Micah has.
True.
And them dudes are replaceable.
True.
Okay?
All true.
Now, if guys that are not replaceable was talking like, hey, look, Mike, hey, like Trayvon Diggs, okay, we might have something to talk about. Like, hey, man, maybe I'm tripping. Right? If Bland say, yo, Micah,
Lawrence is better than those guys.
He's gone for a reason.
Because he's older.
However it is, because I didn't see him make a lot of plays. He was hurt a lot last year. I don't know if you knew it.
Bland was hurt a lot last year.
He was on the sideline a lot, right? And he wasn't making no plays. Yeah. So my thing is, if we're on the same side of the ball, and I'm making all the plays. Now, I don't really agree with the whole, I love to tweet that much, because some people like to drink and smoke. That's
wild.
Yeah, that's extreme, okay? But if we're just talking about who Micah Parsons is, he's one of the best players in the league.
True. I don't agree.
And obviously, the stuff that I'm tweeting out ain't hurting my game because every other year I'm either all-pro or up for Defense Player of the Year. And these dudes you talk about, we're going to forget about them in the next 2-3 years.
I got a question for Shady that transcends even ball. Because this has bothered me the last 3 weeks of this conversation. It's been bothering me.
He's bothered.
Who do you believe, in the Cowboys locker room, who can approach Micah Parsons and Micah Parsons listen? Because I don't believe, based upon what I'm hearing from you, correct me if I'm wrong, it can't be the head coach. He's a first-time head coach, so you don't have the authority to speak. Micah's better than him. It can't be Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott always chokes. Dak Prescott, you just got an all-pro after 8 years. You don't have the authority to speak. I suggest it can't be DeRon Bland if it can't be DeMarcus Lawrence. DeRon Bland missed all of last year, primarily with an injury. Can't really be Trayvon Diggs. He only had one good season in his career. You could suggest the year before the 10-pick season, but he missed the whole season with an ACL injury. So who can speak to Micah? Who can correct him? Who can chastise him? Who can rebuke him? Who can try to reform him? Who can try to
get through to
constructively criticize him?
So I look at it as either mentor leaders that people respect. Maybe they're not playing, but you respect.
You would hope DeMarcus Lawrence,
old head,
11-year vet, played the same position, been for the Cowboys forever.
My thing is he's not on the team no more, Acho. So when we leave a team, you talk about him, I don't even hear that no more because you play for the Seahawks. But I think guys like Dak, you said Dak, but I think Dak can check him because it's about elite players or respected players. However good people think Dak Prescott is in the playoffs, that don't matter. But for that team, he's respected. So if he speaks, you're going to listen. It's the quarterback of your team, okay? That's one. And two is, I think you're wrong about Diggs. I think Diggs is an elite player. One thing about elite players, you respect other elite players.
True.
So if you telling me if Dak Prescott said this about Micah will respect that a little differently. than Hooker. You get what I'm saying? It's a thing of respect. And it's like, how can you stand on your own and say that when on our defense, we play the same side of the ball? You know what I mean, this defense. You know what you mean, this defense. So why are you talking to me like that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like what you're saying, Shady, a little bit like he's uncheckable. Maybe you're saying like
elite people.
No, he's uncheckable to whoever's talking. Like Hooker can't really check.
Yeah. So for me, like first of all, like I don't think he's unfairly criticized. He uses his platform. He likes to tweet. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. Great, awesome. But it also, I don't love that he comes off as uncheckable. I don't like uncheckable guys in a locker room because, quite honestly, I know you're a superstar player. And I know you're one of the greatest in the game right now.
Yes, he is.
Okay, but you should be able to be checked at some point. You're not above reproach. And that's just from a team aspect. We're not talking superstars. He's clearly the superstar on the team, him and Dak. But I do think there's something to be said of, like, he gets a little crazy when people do try to check him. Like, I think he crosses the line. Like, it seems to me like he can't take in constructive criticism, be like, all right, because he's like, no, I am who I am. You like it or you hate it. That's fine. But what is it got? It's not got you any Super Bowls here in Dallas, right? And I'm not saying that he's the problem. He's toxic because teammates, for the most part, I think like him. But he is extremely online. And he likes to tweet. He even said in the quote, he likes the attention. Like, he's like, I like to know what everyone's doing. He likes that. And so for me, I tend to shy away from that because I'm like, if I'm in the locker room and I'm a backup quarterback or I'm somebody else, it's like, hey, like I want like everyone to be all in. Like I don't want you to act some sort of type of way because you're a superstar because you might start alienating yourself from teammates.
Yeah, I disagree with it all. Number one, I ain't.
What we said or what Mike
that?
What y'all saying? Because I don't think he's above reproach. We have not heard one player come out and talk about his play. All everybody does is say, hey, man, you come out, he goes back and forth on Twitter. That's the thing. I don't know if y'all know, but the day and age we in, it's a social media day and age, right? What Micah needs to understand is if you start falling off, then they're going to make a big deal about the social media. If you're balling, they're not going to say anything about the social media. But I disagree with y'all above reproach with your teammates because if I come to Aaron Rodgers and I say, stop, bro, that podcast, get out of my face. I don't know who you are. I'm not stopping doing my podcast. That's what I do. But I done came to Aaron Rodgers and Greg Jennings playing. Wake up, bruh. You're not playing good right now. That's different. And I think Micah's teammates could come at him from that standpoint, but you can't come at me from me not doing my podcast standpoint and stuff I want to do in the social media and tweeting because it's not affecting the way I play. Right. And you said meetings, right? When you go and you break off in meetings. When we break off in offensive meetings, we say, hey, you better slide the protection to Julius Peppers. What you think they saying in them other meetings? You better slide that protection to number 11. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He's affecting the game in that way. But I don't think you're above reproach to where it's like, hey, bruh, you keep going in the B gap. You need to be in the D gap, whatever. He's not above reproach on that. Yeah, but you cannot that's football. Yeah, that's football. Yeah. And you got to respect your teammates from that because we all in this together, especially defense. Yeah. We all in this together. But if you coming at me and I'm sitting in my locker and you like, hey, bro, that podcast, hold on. I just had 3-4 sacks in the game.
That's my thing.
You know what I'm saying?
But aren't you sick and tired if all we talk about is because we don't talk about the Cowboys' play because they haven't been really good.
Okay.
They made the playoffs. Like, aren't you in a teammate? Aren't you like, man, why are they talking about Micah Parsons again, tweeting this? Don't you think it's at some point a distraction, at least in the locker room?
Is it more of a distraction than the way we playing?
The play we playing ain't worth it. It ain't right.
What I'm saying is,
it ain't good.
And I agree with you though, but it's because we all should be able to check each other like football-wise.
Yeah.
8-2-5, hey, hold on to that ball.
100.
And you could be a practice player.
Yes.
I got you. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. We're going to leave it at that. Yeah. That's football. But when we get outside of, like, what I'm doing outside of football, and because I don't think everybody can check everybody.
Not outside of football.
Not outside of football.
Like, but I think
inside of football.
But I think there's certain players you can check, though. So, like, if Deshaun or Macklin or Vic or whoever it was, I'm going to speak on, like, yo, outside of football, you need to stop doing that. Because I earn that respect. You get what I'm saying? We on the same level.
You're saying if you're a...
Certain dudes can't just say that. Can't just say that.
But here's the dilemma.
I agree with that.
The dilemma I have, particularly with the Cowboys, is the ones who have the authority to check the others with authority, they need to be checked too. So it's a whole bunch of
break that down.
Remember after the Cowboys beat or maybe lost to the Texans, and it was CD and whoever shooting the music video in the club, I think it was. And then I think like a week and Diggs. Then I think like a week later, maybe one of them got hurt or something like that, or either way they lost. Y'all both need to be checked. Y'all should be checking each other. So but instead, y'all together.
Wait, so if Micah came, okay, that's a great point.
You know what I mean?
So if Micah checked him in the club, like, yo, dog, y'all. I think they will respect that. Yo,
But now the problem is,
but if Hooker did it, like, yo.
But so here's
pipe down.
Here's the dilemma I have. While they in the club, Micah reviewing what he gonna do for the podcast. So now, like, all of them need to be. They're the only ones who have the authority to check. They're the only ones who have the authority to check each other. But they all doing stuff that need to be checked.
But really quick though, like
that's a good point.
Is it being in the club? Did it affect CeeDee Lamb play?
It didn't.
I think so.
It just looks bad.
I think
it looks bad. It's all perception, James.
I think it's too.
It don't matter if he played bad or not. It's all perception about what the world
lose.
thinks.
I get that.
Who cares about the world? We in the locker room.
But that's real though. We lose.
Perception.
And when I lose, I ain't going to no club.
I agree with that, but what I'm saying is you guys are basically saying other people should be able to check you. Homeboy, I'm playing at an all-pro level in the club, dog. But maybe you should be with me in the club.
Maybe you should have a bottle in your head.
You feel
take a bottle.
You understand what I'm saying?
Take a shot.
Like I don't understand. You got like
because I think
that's a good point. I'm sure
I never want to let results mask a truth. And just because, and mind you, I think they lost 31-10 that game, if I'm not mistaken. Just because you ball doesn't mean that everything you're doing leading up to you balling is productive. That's the only thing.
I just got a question. Him doing the podcast, what is the distraction on the field if I'm doing my job?
They losing these on the pod.
But because you're saying I'm supposed to be distraction. So I'm doing the podcast and I'm playing the best. Hold on. I'm playing the best on the football team. How is that a distraction to y'all? Like, how do you read a quote from Micah Parsons saying, Brock Purdy, this and that, and I'm a distraction to you, but when I put my hand in the dirt,
I'm the best player on the team.
I'm the best player. How is that a distraction to you?
I don't think it's the podcast that's a distraction. I think it's all the other stuff. What comes with he wants to be involved in everything and anything. It's not the fact that he has a podcast. I could care less on what I'm saying. It's what he says on the podcast.
How is that making the safety play bad?
I'm not talking about the safety. I'm just saying it's all about perception.
Well, to me, it's this. Remember, we all watch the tape and we all truly understand the tape. Micah makes game-changing plays, and he makes plays that will be heralded more than anybody else. If you can't really criticize Micah because you sound dumb doing it, because everybody just sees sacks.
He's all pro. He's all pro player. Okay.
But you and I have watched the Cardinals game, which is the game that Malik. That was the game before the Malik Hooker quotes. That occurred during that season. The Cardinals ran all up and down them. And ran at Mike. That whole season, the Cowboys' run defense was atrocious. Micah Parsons was not good in the run. He wasn't good playing the run. Malik Hooker is saying, hey, if our run defense is bad and you're doing a podcast, people are going to say, should we be focused more on the run defense? Now, is Micah the best player on that team?
Absolutely.
Sure, based upon all these things.
And that's why none of that matters, though.
But it does matter because, like, the run defense was still bad, and Micah in the run game was still bad.
I hear all that, right? And we all play on teams like this. How the hell are you going to talk a certain way to the best player on the team when he does his job every single year?
Because let's put it like, let me do it in running back terms.
All pro. For everybody here, all pro means at your position, out of all 32 teams, you are the best player in your position.
But do it like this. And you can have an all-pro running back, and you can run for 1,600 yards and 17 touchdowns. Great season. But you could also be terrible in pass pro. The world ain't gonna know that you're terrible in pass pro. Shady will know that you're terrible in pass pro. So you can be an all-pro but be terrible in pass pro. And somebody could come on the pod. Somebody could come on the pod and be like, man, if you weren't doing this pod, we might be able to be better in pass pro.
I'll just say this. I mean, I don't. You played on different teams than I played on after the Eagles. You played on different teams. You played on different teams. I don't know what team I played on where you could just do all that. You could just be the best player in your position and on the team, and then people kind of critique you a certain way like you the issue. I don't know. That's just different for me.
But not only that, I understand if you're doing something outside of our defense. If teams are running at you and you're getting double teamed and they're like, hey, listen, man, Micah's not that good in the run. We're going to run at him. He's a little lighter than Myles Garrett.
That was happening.
You understand what I'm saying? But if he's in the D gap and everybody else supposed to be in the C and the B and the A, why is this a problem with me and my podcast? Yes, I might not be making every play, y'all. They running at me. I might not be making every play. But what I'm saying is am I a distraction and I'm playing at this all-pro level and you guys can look at it? Because it's nothing that he's doing off the field or in the locker room.
He's about to make $40 million a year, man.
Gotta take it. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.